Students, in this lecture, we will discuss the mode of action of beta blockers regarding their antihypertensive action. So we have already discussed these beta blockers when we were studying the autonomic nervous system. Basically, these beta blockers are definitely used in the treatment of the hypertension, especially if the patient is also suffering from another disease, that is, he is suffering from or he is having any concomitant heart disease, for example, if he has heart failure. So what are the actions of the beta blockers? We already know that the beta blockers will basically decrease the cardiac output. By blocking the beta receptors on the heart, they will decrease the sympathetic outflow, they will inhibit the release of the renin, and they will decrease the formation of angiotensin II and the secretion of aldosterone. And all these factors ultimately will result in lowering the blood pressure. Now, what are the selective and the non-selective beta blockers? And non-selective beta blockers means the beta blockers that will act on both the beta 1 and the beta 2 receptors. These are propranolol and the nadolol. When I talk about the selective ones, it means I'm talking about, when I'm discussing the heart, it means I'm talking about the beta 1 receptor blockers. And these are metoprolol, atenolol, and nebivolol. Now, what is the prototype beta blocker? The prototype or the beta blocker that is indicating the whole class is the propranolol, that is a non-selective beta blocker. It means this is a beta blocker that will act on both beta 1 and beta 2 receptor. This is the blocker that will block both beta 1 and beta 2 receptors. So this beta 1 receptor, for example, when I talk about the metoprolol and the atenolol, they are most commonly prescribed beta blockers because they are selective ones and they will act on the beta 1 receptors. When I talk about the nebivolol, that is the blocker of the beta 1 receptor, an additional benefit of this is that this has ability for the production of the, or it has ability to increase the production of the nitric oxide. And we already know that increase in production of the nitric oxide will result in the vasodilation. This nitric oxide itself is a vasodilator, and this will help in lowering your blood pressure by facilitating the blood flow. So it can be used in patients with hypertension and also in patients who have asthma, because this is a selective one. This is only acting on the beta 1 receptor, as I have discussed here. This is nebivolol. Now, this is a selective one, beta 1. This is acting only on the beta 1 receptor, not it is acting on the beta 2 receptor. So it can use in patients with asthma. Why non-selectives cannot be used in asthmatic patients? Why non-selective beta blockers cannot be used for the treatment of hypertension in patients who also have asthma? Because in that case, your drug will also block the beta 2 receptors, which are located on the lungs. And we already know that activation of the beta 2 receptors result in the bronchodilation, and in the patients who are suffering with asthma already have constricted bronchioles. And if I will use these non-selective beta blockers in such patients, they will further block the effect of the beta 2 receptor. They will further constrict the bronchioles. As a result, they will exaggerate the condition. So this was all about the mode of action of the beta blockers in patients suffering from the hypertension.